the recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's start. Last time we did the listening, yeah, like for the first time we listened for it. And I think that we will have to listen to it once again because I don't remember anything, actually.
Yeah, the same.
Okay. And let's first look through the questions, yeah, to understand what we have to listen and to hear. Which of this, so we discussed the figures, I guess, yeah? And which of the figures are most reliable? Then what are the findings of the studies by Hyde and Chambers? What does the lecture cite the study in Gapun? What do Deborah Cameron and Simon Baron Cohen disagree about? And what's the lecturer conclusion? Okay. So
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just lost in pages. Sorry. Yeah, I found
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's 72. Yeah, page 72. Okay, and I think that we are discussing questions in exercise 4.
Yeah.
Except first 2, yeah, because we discussed the numbers last time. Okay, so let me do it like that. Yeah, it's here. 26. Of course, it wants to. Sorry, just a moment. Sometimes all the tracks, they are just disappearing and then appearing once again. I don't know why it's happening, but okay.
Track 26.
It's common knowledge that men and women do things differently, isn't it? The male of the species, we're told, goes quiet and retreats into a cave to brood at the slightest sign of stress, whilst the female reaches out and shares her feelings. After all, women are better communicators, aren't they? That's certainly what writers like John Gray would have us believe. But on what basis do they make this argument? And does it matter? It's easy to assume these books must be based on valid scientific research, but in reality, very few are. Indeed, even a cursory inspection of the literature of linguistics and gender reveals that men and women communicate in remarkably similar ways. Take the notion that women talk more. A book in 2007 reported that women used 20,000 words a day and men just 7,000. But when the claim was challenged, the author, Luann Brizendine, couldn't provide a source and promised to withdraw it from later editions. In fact, research in the journal Science has shown both sexes talk equally as much, and in doing so use on average 16,000 words per day. There's obviously huge variety, from 500 to 45,000 words a day, but significantly, the 3 chattiest people in the study were all men. Then there's the belief that men interrupt more because they are biologically more aggressive and programmed to use language more competitively. Evidence from Janet Hyde actually suggests that in neutral situations, where people speak on equal terms, women and men interrupt equally. The neutrality of the situation is important. Some men do speak over others more, but this is not to do with gender, but rather the power relationship between the speakers. When talking to a boss, we won't butt in, but they will. In fact, when Chambers reviewed a number of linguistic studies investigating gender difference in this and other areas, such as empathizing, aggression, and wordplay, he found an overlap of 99.75% in the way the sexes communicate. In short, no difference whatsoever. Finally, if these supposed language differences were biological, we would expect them to be universal to all cultures. However, to take just one example, a study in the village of Gapan, Papua New Guinea, found the men pride themselves on their ability to speak indirectly and never say what they mean, while the women frequently give voice to their anger by launching into lengthy swearing sessions, behaviour which is a reversal of the Mars and Venus stereotypes of aggression and indirectness. So, why do these myths of biological difference and communication persist? Well, sweeping generalizations such as women are more in touch with their feelings appeal because they match long-standing stereotypes. We look for and cite evidence to back up a traditional view, but ignore or fail to search for contradictory evidence. Take the psychologist Simon Baron-Cohen, who argues in his book, The Essential Difference, that male brains are analytical and goal-orientated, which makes them wonderful scientists and lawyers, while a female's empathetic brain is best for jobs like teaching and counselling. However, as Deborah Cameron notes, a career in education or as a therapist just requires a mix of verbal, people and analytical skills, and Baron-Cohen's choice is simply based on the fact jobs in such fields have traditionally been occupied by women. And why have they? Because they're less well paid, less varied, and have less power in a society that has been dominated by men for centuries. Furthermore, all of this is often reinforced by our biased use of language, where we'll still often specify a male nurse or a female doctor. Ultimately then, when and how people communicate has far more to do with social status and power than it does with genetic makeup and nature. It's vital to challenge these myths because, in many cases, stereotypes around gender and communication serve to hide the structural problems in societies that maintain male power and hold back women.
Okay.
Okay. So let's try to discuss it. So, and as far as I remember, last time we didn't discuss 45,000, yeah, because we didn't get the idea what
Oh,
it
and
was.
I missed it one more time. I missed all the numbers actually. This,
Yeah, so actually I tried to focus on it, and it was just a short comparison between 500 and 45,000 words a day. So she said, like, there is a difference between 500 and 45,000 words a day, and blah blah blah. So actually I didn't catch the idea of what it was about.
probably it wasn't that important.
Yeah, like maybe the difference between like figures, like yeah, that mentioned in different books, maybe like that. Okay, then what are the findings of the studies by Hyde and Chambers? So about Hyde, I know I wrote down that men and women interrupt equally if the situation is important. Yeah, so and I think that there was a kind of oh my god, how do we call it? Statement, yeah, that men interrupt more because they speak more aggressively, yeah, and they use language more aggressively, and yeah, like to show their power, to show their dominance. But in fact, they found out that men and women interrupt equally depending on the situation. Yeah, so
Yeah, agree. Okay, next. Why does the lecturer cite the study in Japan? Because there is a huge difference between behavior of men and Japan and women in and women there. So they don't follow the stereotypical behavior. So men are often so avoid direct speech or direct communication. They always try to hide what they really mean. And women are more likely to show their emotions, to show their aggression if it's necessary, and to say in direct words. So something like that.
Yeah, and I liked the phrase like women usually start uh something like they burst out in swearing sessions, something like that.
Mm.
Yeah, so if they don't like something, they start to swear and to say directly. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's also really good that it also shows that the way we communicate doesn't depend on our nature. It's more like social thing, and
Mm-hmm.
so you can definitely change it if you want it. So it's not like your human nature that you're shy or I don't know that you're women are afraid to say something. So yeah, it can not easily, but it can be changed.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So the next one, it's about Deborah Cameron and Simon Baron Cohen disagree about. So actually, I didn't remember who is for who, but the main disagreement is that men, uh, like men, have analytical
Mhm.
brain, yeah, and women have empathetical brain, and that's why men are better at business and at jobs where um, much analysis is needed, and women are better in such jobs like nursing, teaching, and so on and so forth. So such jobs where more empathy is needed. But the opponent disagree with that because I believe that Deborah is against this position.
Yes, against the stereotypes. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
It's kind of obvious that men would protect, I'm sorry, not all men, but some of them,
yeah.
would protect their point of view.
Yeah. So, and she claims that men are usually in such positions, they usually occupy such jobs because they are better paid and they have more power in society. And so,
Hmm.
women, they are there because they are less paid and they have less power in society. Yeah.
Yeah, and also I forgot to add to the third question. No, sorry, to the fourth question.
Mm-hmm.
She made an important conclusion from all these things that sometimes we all try to find the statistics that will prove that stereotypical society works better, but we fail to search for differences, and there are huge amounts of them. So
Mm-hmm.
between old fashioned way of life and like up to date, I don't know, or
Mm-hmm.
something different. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, and I absolutely agree about Deborah and Simon. Yeah, they okay.
Yeah, actually, I had this insight about maybe a year or maybe 2 years ago. I just realized that that there are almost no men in teaching because the payment is quite low. Like if we compare it with the payment for other jobs, like in
Mm.
IT, for example, or something like that. Yeah, and I
Or
was shocked by this insight.
yeah, even if you go to work to a factory, you will pay or you will earn much more. At
Mm-hmm.
least for example, when you work on weekends, for example, you can earn more money. And in teaching, okay, you can definitely earn more money. It's what we try to do because, I mean, it's impossible to live. I worked at school. It's impossible to live only for this money. It's like,
Mhm.
it's nothing at all. Okay, even though I was a class teacher, I had a lot of lessons, and I had a cabinet, so I had money,
Mhm.
but it was so small. Like I can't even compare it to what I earn nowadays. So
Mhm.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So
Agree. Agree
okay.
totally. And actually, so it's very funny that now I'm still reading Gone with the Wind. Yeah, and I'm
Hmm.
now on the like on the second book. Yeah, like
Hmm.
because there are two books. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm at the point. So have you read it? Should I give spoilers to you? No?
You can give it to me because I mean I know at least something. So even if I
Okay.
know spoilers, I still going to read it. It's not like
Okay.
it will stop me.
Okay, so then, and now I'm at the point where Scarlett had to move back to Atlanta because she didn't have any money to support
Hmm.
and to maintain her farm. Yeah, and so she decided to marry a man who was like who had been engaged to her sister, but she decided to marry him and she did it. Yeah, and so then she got some money. Yeah, and she decided to buy a. Actually, I'm not sure how it's called, but Lisa So she
Oh.
decided to she decided
Okay.
to buy it. Yeah, and then she decided to run it herself. And her husband was just not happy about it, and all the society was not happy about it, and they discussed her behind her back and actually to her face that she can't do it because she's a woman, and women are such
Hmm.
stupid creatures that just have to sit at home and care about the children, and if they want to earn some money, they should do it doing something like brodering or baking or something like that, something woman things. Yeah,
Hmm.
and everybody is not happy that she has bought Lisa Pilka and yeah, and runs the business herself. So,
Yeah.
and it's really funny that I'm at exactly this place right now. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's really strange because I mean, how many years ago this book was written? And
Yes. Oh,
why do we have still the same situation? I mean, if I tell my parents that I'm going to do something like that, they would call me crazy.
yeah. That's just I don't know. That's strange because the book was I don't know. The book was I guess written in 20th century. I guess. Yeah. Or not. Just a moment. Let me check.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. Okay.
So the book. So it was written in yeah, in 1936. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like the oh my God.
Almost
And
100 years and nothing has changed.
yeah, yeah,
And Lisa Pilka in English is like something like sawmill
sawmill.
or
Okay.
timber works or timber mill
Okay.
or wood mill.
Okay.
A lot of
Uh
words with mill.
so some okay. I
Saw
got the point. So
and
sawmill. Yeah.
like saw like pillow.
Yeah, yeah, I got the point. Oh, okay. Anna is here. Okay, so let's.
Oh,
So
that's
she said,
cool.
yeah, she said she won't be able to. Okay, that's cool.
Okay, so
Yeah. Okay. So, hi Anna, glad to see you and hear you.
I think she doesn't hear us for
Ah,
now.
okay. Uh,
Okay. Oh, no sound. Failed to.
yeah. Okay. So, and let's maybe
Yeah,
like
continue with questions.
yeah, continue with questions. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Anna,
Hello.
hi,
Hello,
hi. Yeah,
Oh,
glad
glad
you
to
it's good to
managed.
see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that you managed to participate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Oh, yeah, actually, we're at page 72. Yeah, and we are finishing to discuss the questions in exercise 4. So we listened to the audio for the second time.
Mhm.
So, and actually, I think we are at the conclusion, at the
Mhm.
lecture's conclusion. So,
mhm.
And
So,
what's page?
yeah, it's
What
it's
72.
72.
Yeah, page
Mhm.
72. Yeah.
Okay.
And exercise 4, now we will quickly discuss the last question. Yeah, and then we will move on. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, I think she thinks, okay, so I wrote down some, I know, I wrote, what did I? Okay, so I wrote that we still have problems with our language and with our attitude towards gender, because we still try to specify like male nurse or female doctor, and that's probably also the way we try to hide our problems and not to refer to it directly. So we just prefer to stick to the old-fashioned way, like girls are like that, boys are like that. It's better to stick to all these stereotypes than to try to solve them, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of problems even nowadays.
Yeah, and so I wrote down something like that. Nowadays, social status and power means more than gender, like, and genetic th things. Yeah, I don't know, like so gender, I
Genetics,
guess. Yeah,
genetics, just
genetics.
genetics. Mhm.
Yeah, and so it should be like that. So, like, if you, but actually, this is a kind of like circle, because of the stereotypes based on gender and like genetics. So you can't get enough social status and power to overcome these barriers and stereotypes. So this is a kind of,
Mhm.
yeah, this is a kind of how do we? Is there
Trap.
any? Yeah, a trap. So is there any nice expression to like? Замкнутый круг, yeah?
Mhm.
A vicious circle. Vicious circle. Let's check it. I don't trust Google vocabulary. Google. Vicious circle. This is a continuing unpleasant situation created when one problem causes another problem that then makes the first problem worse. Yeah. So this is it. Vicious circle.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, agree. Okay, so
So
exercise 5.
yeah, exercise 5. What's wrong with it? Okay. So, and we should work a group, talk about note taking.
Mhm.
Whether you think you are good at taking notes or not. How do you think? Are you good at taking notes or not?
Uh, I don't know. I haven't been taking notes for ages, like in the normal way. I think since university. I mean, I still I take notes when I learn Japanese,
Mhm.
but it's mostly really quick and during the lesson, like teacher gives me like a rule and I have to write it just on the piece of paper, like um on my student book because I printed. So
Mhm.
the last time that I took it, it was like university. I remember it was lectures about phonology, no, phonetics. Uh, no, something like practical phonetics. And yeah, I even learned how to take it correctly because there are several ways to do it. And I just divided page on two sides, like first one, and other is like fields. How do we call it in English? So the backspace, I don't know.
Mhm.
And so you write the thing you want, and on this empty part, you write either you draw eyes if you need to look something through, or you write down the words that you don't understand and you need to Google it, like terms or something like that. Yeah, actually, you're supposed to divide it on 3 parts, and at the end of the page, you have to write the short conclusion for the page. But it was too difficult for me, so I ended up with 2. It was quite comfortable, but I used it only once for these lectures, and I have never used it again. So
Mm. Okay. So actually, I've always thought that I'm quite good at making notes, but so not last, maybe this autumn, I had an opportunity to translate like from from English into Russian, like
Mhm.
the lecture, yeah, like the webinar, and it was like how do we call it? Not
I
последовательный
understood
перевод.
you.
So like sequent translation, I guess. Yeah.
Last second.
Uh,
Simultaneous interpreting.
Simultaneous, I guess this is like синхронный.
Mm-hmm.
And I
And
need
what?
последовательный.
Okay.
Uh, consecutive.
I don't
Mm,
remember all the terms. We had them, then I learned how to translate, but consecutive.
okay. Just a moment. Consecutive, yeah, or consequent.
Consecutive.
Okay, let it be consecutive. So I had to translate consecutively, like oral translation, and it was
Yeah.
awful because I realized that there were like parts, yeah, about maybe 1 minute or 1 minute and a half, and I realized that I just didn't manage to make notes in that way so that I could translate it in correct sequence, with using the correct like word chunks and so on and so forth. It was awful. Yeah, it was a total failure, and I was surprised that I wasn't like kicked out of the conference like during the conference itself. So it was, and that moment I realized that I'm quite bad at making notes. Yeah.
Okay. So I understand what you mean, but I mean, I have something like not second education, but повышение квалификации. I have no idea how to say it. So it's the same, just took some lessons about translation, how to translate, and they had an amazing teacher. He is a translator itself. He just really cool. And he taught us how to translate. So we have to work here, and it's not like that you are bad at taking notes, but they have a special way of doing it because you don't have opportunity to write the words whole. You have to make like special signs and so on and so forth. So it's the whole science. We didn't learn it how to do it properly, but he learned us some shortenings and some basic rules for doing it. So yeah, it's really difficult. It's like whole new level of taking notes. So it's not like necessary when you listen to usual lectures or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, so I'm not a professional at all. So Anna, what about you? Are you good at taking notes?
I think that sometimes, yeah, it works. It works better. It works. It works for me because I remember that when I studied at university, I took some notes when I need to learn a lot of information, and this information that connected with English or with French, and we needed to give a lot of tasks on grammar, on vocabulary,
Mhm.
and sometimes on translation. Yeah, and it was a bit difficult. But after making notes, I realized that it was getting better. I started to understand better, and this information how to say, как откладываться в памяти.
Oh,
I would
stays
say
in your memory.
yeah.
State.
Stay like остается, stays in your
Mhm.
memory.
State. Yeah, state at my memory.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, I totally understand. And if we are talking about university, for me, the huge problem was, I mean, how is it? Okay, I learned how we're supposed to prepare for the lectures. Actually, you have to print the presentation beforehand and take notes there. So, for example, then teacher gives you some new information, so you don't have to write the whole page on your notebook. And we never had it, so no one sent any presentation to our like website. We had it something like Moodle,
Mhm.
and it was horrible because they didn't share the lectures even after that, and it was the only way to prepare for the future exam.
Wow, that's
Yeah, it was
awful.
horrible. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
actually,
that's bad.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah,
Sorry.
because I also remember how we were like studying at the university, and also nobody sent us the presentations, and so we had to make photos of a presentation during the lecture, and then we had to rewrite this, and also during the lecture, during the rewriting these pictures, yeah, because of course we obviously didn't have time to do it like during the
Mhm.
lectures, because sometimes the slides they contained a lot of information, and so we also had to listen to the lecture and to make notes parallelly with with rewriting the slides. It was awful.
Yeah, I remember how I bought it. Okay, so it wasn't probably the first year, but the second year when we started to have lectures in English, and I was thought like, oh my God, I'm going to make such beautiful notes. I learned how to do it properly. I have so many pens, and at the end, you don't. It's like the second year, my level of English wasn't that great, and it's like it's hard to comprehend it by listening, and you have to follow the rules. So I did horrible thing. I like recorded my teacher and then I went home and I just wrote the places that I missed because it was impossible to do it, because
Mhm.
they spoke like native speakers. They didn't make any pauses, and it was like your first time listening to like half an hour and a half fully in English. Gosh.
That sounds really, oh my God.
Yeah, but listening is my favorite thing right now because I can understand almost everything.
Okay. Okay, so then what system you use when taking notes and why?
I don't remember.
So we actually, I don't know that different systems exist actually, but so I remember that we had a teacher, like not a teacher, a professor, yeah, at university, and so it was a French teacher, and she was one of the scariest lecturers ever, because she made um when we had to present some topic, like oral topic, yes, so that we discussed, so she when we needed to speak, she made us draw some scheme. So we had to make some scheme, like to understand what is the core problem, what are the like maybe reasons for the problem, what are the possible possible solutions for this problem, yeah, and so on and so forth. And before we had a kind of oral not exam, but so during
Practice.
this oral practice, like during the semesters we had to like prepare a topic, oral topic, and we had to speak about it like during like 2 minutes, for example, but she didn't let us use any notes except these schemes. And before starting to speak, she asked to show her these schemes. And maybe these schemes, they taught me to like analyze their topic from different points of view and to make notes like this, because now when I make notes I usually use these schemes, like I draw the connections between different aspects of what is told, and so I usually put it into scheme. So this is my way of writing it down. I'm not sure that it's correct or not correct, but this is the way I'm used to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I also agree. In my opinion, okay, there are two types of French teachers. One of them is like these lazy people. You can imagine them with cheese in one hand and a glass of wine in another hand, and they don't care about anything. Just they see you and they will talk to you, and that's it. They won't learn you anything, but it would be at least interesting. Another one is they are really angry and
Yes.
strict, and you
Yes.
can't do anything. You're just scared of them so much. We also had this teacher. Okay. Yeah.
Also French?
Also French, of course.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I just I don't know, I have a strange like abusive relationship with French. I thought that I'm going to like it, but at the end, I just okay, I hope it's like A2 B1 maybe. But yeah, okay. So, and about note taking, I didn't find how it's called, but okay, so you divide page on 3 parts. The things that you don't know, right? And at the end, you write the conclusion for the page. It's
okay.
Good.
Sounds really cool.
Anna, do you have any special ways of note taking?
I think that I have a special system. I only write I only write something important, and then I follow it.
Okay. So I think this is also a kind of nice way to do it. Okay. So when you need to take notes in your daily life, actually only like during the listenings when I like when I have the lessons, English lessons.
Yeah. Okay.
This is it. Okay, whether you take notes in the same way in your own language and in English. So I actually don't take notes in Russian, so
The same.
I never do it actually. So yeah. Do you do notes in Russian anyhow?
Maybe when I learn Japanese, but it's not like it's full in Russian. It's like the mixture of English, Russian, and Japanese.
Okay, maybe last year I took a course on open education, about children psychology, and then I made notes, of course, but I also like rewrote the slides and also made some like wrote down some notes, some comments that the lecturers did, and that's all. So it was just rewriting. Okay. So
Mhm.
what you normally do with your notes after your English class, a meeting, and lecture? I usually forget about them.
Same here.
Yeah, actually, it's really rare situation when I get back to my notes. Maybe it was only during the university, because we had an economics teacher, like lecturer, who made us write down the lecture after him. So he like dictated the lecture, and we wrote everything down. And in the end of the semester, we had like a huge copybook of his lectures, and we had to prepare for the exam like using his lectures. And basically we just learned the lectures by heart because it was impossible. Yeah, so we he was so he wasn't strict, but we were afraid of him. I don't know why. And we just learned the economics lectures by heart. Yeah, I remember it clearly. So
Yeah. Sweet times of university. I miss it
yeah,
so much.
not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, it's the problem that again, it's about Japanese. I take the notes, but I have so many pieces of paper that I quite confused. And at the end, at the end of the unit, I have a huge practice, like 4 or 5 pages. I have to, so it's like grammar, vocabulary, or like speaking, listening. And in order to do it correctly, I have to find all these notes, and they are almost everywhere on different pages somewhere. And sometimes it's difficult to find because you can't even Google it properly, because I still can't use most of the kanjis, like hieroglyphs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's quite hard. So yeah, one day I'm going to learn how to take, okay, I'm going to do it properly, but not during this unit because I have the same situation. I have to do homework.
Yeah, actually, I have the same problem because I usually take notes like on my desk. There are different like
Um,
pieces of paper with
yeah,
different types of like like
yeah.
a pile of notes, a pile of like notebooks with different pieces of of my notes. And of course like I don't remember what is where, and like what is connected to what. And yeah, so
Hmm.
I'm quite messy when we speak about notes. Yeah. Okay, so and the last one, how you think you could improve your note taking skills? um just follow some structure.
Yes, just for example, use one notebook or one notebook for different types of tasks, for example,
Mm-hmm.
or do it in my phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Sorry, on my phone. Yeah, on my
I
phone.
guess on, yeah, I guess on
Hmm.
my phone. Mm-hmm. Okay, so and then now we have to do what? We have to look at audio script on page 205 and find
Hmm.
all the verbs and adjectives that collocate with these nouns. All the verbs and adjectives. Okay.
Uh-huh. 26.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's track 26. Hmm.
Mm. So they underlined all the words, yeah?
Yeah, really? I don't know because I have the word option, word variant.
Oh,
Really? You have
yeah,
underlined?
yeah, I can make a photo and I can send it to our VK chat.
Oh. Oh, actually, I think we have it in. I just like Word Word files more. Okay, then I think it's okay. So let's discuss them. Yeah, maybe.
Mhm.
So the first one, be based on valid scientific research. Yeah, like
Yeah.
valid scientific research and be based on research. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Good.
Okay. Then what else?
The claim was challenged.
Yeah. So it's like to challenge the claim, yeah?
Mhm.
And actually, I think to withdraw a claim. So because it was promised to withdraw it from later editions, I think she promised to withdraw a claim
Yes, you're right.
from later editions. Yeah.
Mhm.
So then evidence suggests, yeah.
And one more. The research has shown.
Yeah, right. Research has shown. Okay. Mm. Uh-huh. To review a study
And
and mhm.
a number of a number of studies and linguistic studies.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Uh,
stereotypes of aggression and indirectness. Sorry, I'm always confused about this word. Is it direct or direct?
I think direct.
Direct.
Let's check it. Actually. Yes, it's direct. And direct is also possible in both
So,
options in British and American English. So yeah, you can say whatever you like. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Myths of biological difference and communication.
And myths persist.
Yeah, persist. Yeah, right. Uh, long-standing stereotypes and match stereotypes. Yeah. Then
Mhm.
look for evidence and cite evidence.
And contradictory evidence. And search for evidence.
Yeah. Yeah, search for contradictory evidence. Then
Challenge these myths. Challenge the myths.
and where is it?
It's the last part, it's vital to challenge these myths.
Ah,
And the
yeah.
ultimate-
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And stereotypes around gender and stereotypes around communication.
And stereotypes serve to do something, yeah, to hide the structural problems.
Чего? Мне сейчас понятно.
And hold back women. Okay,
Nice. All the sentences.
great. And so we also have discussion, yeah, but I think let's start and we stop like at like maybe in 2 minutes. Is there anything you didn't fully understand in the lecture? Is there anything in the lecture that surprised you? Is there anything you agree or disagree with? To what extent? And do you agree that nurture is more important than nature in determining how people act? Why not? Actually, I think we discussed all of that.
Yeah. I think we have almost the same opinion about these stereotypes.
Yeah, so and actually I agree that nurture is more important than nature. So nurture, I think they mean like the society, yeah, the stereotypes, their social social status and so on and so forth. So yeah, I'm sure that this is it. I guess I'm sure, like I promise that I will read the book by Steven Pinker. It's called Чистый лист, and this is about that we are born like without any stereotypes, yeah, but then when we are brought up, we get all these stereotypes, yeah, and then we like accept the rules of the game of the existing society. Yeah. And I believe that this is true if there is a huge book about it.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's just safer for us follow all these stereotypes, because if not, then how am I supposed to behave? Because like most of the some of the most, I don't know, in Russia probably most of the girls were taught to behave properly, to be a good girl in order to find a husband and to be supported by them, because it's like the husband is a head and you're just his neck and something like that. all this, I mean, yeah, I just remember then I was like 13 years old. I was trying to, how do we say potato? What do we do with potatoes?
Peel the potatoes.
Peel the potato. Yeah, peel the potato. And my grandma came to me and said, "Oh, the peel is too thick. You won't find a husband." And I was like trying to, why, how is it connected? Yeah. And the same, most of the things that I wasn't like a good girl with, like making a mess, wasn't cooking good. So it was like, you won't find a husband.
That's so ridiculous, because actually I believe that this problem existed during the like in America in the 19th century, because there are 2 books about Scarlett O'Hara that that show us that during all the times there were women that were like inappropriate, like like who behaved inappropriately and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's really funny.
Funny. Yeah,
Okay.
and sad at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, agree. Okay, so I guess let's stop here. Yeah, and see you on Thursday.
Oh,
See
see you.
you. Thank you.
Goodbye.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Have a nice week.